Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the trip. It is Monday. We are, yeah, it's Monday. Let's just say that it's Monday. I guess it was Easter weekend, and
Yep.
for those in England, I think they're still celebrating Easter right now. They get Friday and Monday off. That's pretty nice. Over here in the States, we get nothing. It depends on your company, what do you work for, whether you get it
I,
off.
I
But
still
Tony,
plenty, still plenty of people that take it off. I went to Oklahoma City / Edmond Friday, lots of traffic. Went there
hmm
today, lots of traffic. So
hmm
people are traveling back home. But I'm doing all right, except for this glaring sun that's coming in the window. That's trying
oh,
to,
sun in the
but
springtime. That's crazy.
but it's at such an angle, Gary, that it's it's bright.
Mm. Well, it's weird weather over here in New Jersey. It was let's see, it was like in the 80s yesterday or 70s, 80s yesterday, and today I think it may have cracked 60. So
That's kind of like it was here. Um, Friday it was, or I guess, yeah, Friday it was 93. Then it was 60 the next day.
yeah, no, it's crazy here. Yeah, so it's like yesterday I was like, oh, I can wear comfortable clothing, and today I'm like, I need to put on some warmer stuff. I'm cold. But let's say hi to the chat, and go from there. Got Miss Melina in the house. Thanks for joining us, Miss Melina. I think Miss Melina I believe you did a watch along, right? For the game yesterday, and it was yesterday, right? The game, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I guess I said hello, hello. We got Mr. Tom's Talks Wrestling. He's in the house. Got Lonzo in the house. Hello, hello. Oh, wrong account, Mr. Tom. Using the wrong account. Mm. All right. And Alonso
It,
saying yeet yeet. I don't know what that means, but whatever.
I, you're not down with the wrestling sling of
Oh no, I'm
J
not.
so the
I'm not down with much slang in general, much less wrestling slang. Um,
I think Tom should have kept that account going because it's still the Monday after WrestleMania, so there'll be tons of wrestling news.
mm.
Mr. Tom talks wrestling equals Mr. Tom. So
All right, all right, all right. I am is a slang master. I don't know about that. I don't know any of the slang stuff. But anyways, let's get into it. Since the last we spoke, Arsenal had to travel to Real Madrid. Had to travel to Spain. Some people were saying, so I know coming into this uh this quarterfinals, people were like, yeah, maybe we'll just leave Arteta in Spain. Just leave him there, um, instead of taking him home, because guess what? He's going to fail. Not only did he not fail, but I don't know when's the last time Real Madrid's lost a 5-1 double-legged affair, but Arsenal gave them one. Gave them one, and going up 3-0, going to their place. All we really need to do is get that first goal, and
yeah, it's hard to blow it when you're up 3-0. Got you got my defense that you have,
mm,
and,
yeah.
and you have Kivior out there that you haven't lost the game that he's played in.
True, true, true. Yeah, and I've been pretty much saying if Arsenal just can lean on their defense, if their defense can hold up, they get what they want. And I think if Arteta realized that, I think I don't know, maybe we would be in a different situation right now, because we definitely had the defense. Offense struggled a bit, but I think our defense has been an issue. Not issue. Our defense has been the key thing for our season, but our offense has been an issue, and we kind of lean on our offense to sometimes do things for us. They can't. But as any of you guys know, today was a big day for the Mr. Tom household. He's back in the big time, baby. Yes, the Leeds win. All they needed was 1 point or a good result today to secure a spot in the Premier League. And now they sit either first or second, depending on how they want to finish up this season. And the Leeds will be making it back to the Premier League, Tony.
I will stay up longer than I did last time.
We'll see. We'll see. Different manager, but I don't know how much of those players that made it up are coming back. I know Bamford is coming back, but I don't know about the others. I feel like they've revamped their entire squad since the last time they were there. I don't know who the goalkeeper was. Probably was Meslier, right? But who else, Mr. Tom? Who else? Yep. Congratulations to Mr. Tom. Got geeks. Got geeks in the house. Welcome to the show. Leeds. Scamford, yes, he's making it back up. We got Chris Nix in the house. Welcome to the show. All right. Who else we got? Oh no, she didn't even waste any time. Mildred didn't even say hello, anything. Just started going. No. Forget what I said. All right, nix that from your memory banks. All right, Mildred. She said I said something, and then she's been leaning on that as her reason why she calls me Rawlings. But welcome to the show, Rosie. Yes. Hope everyone's well, even the Arsenal fans. That's not nice. We want to. Yep, Gary gave her the crow of judgment. I don't even know if I have the crow of judgment in this area over here. I don't, but you know what I do have? You know what I do have? Tony? This is what Rosie gets. Rosie gets one of these. Yeah, Rosie gets one of these. That's what she gets. So there you go. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for you to do the Ian Wright level celebration after the Champions League win. He was a happy fella.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I saw. Was that in his backyard or something like that? So yeah. Yes. No one calls her Mildred, but everyone kind of wants to call you. I don't know.
I call him. As I say that, Gary, garden. He was out.
Oh, it was in the garden. That's right. It was in the backyard. It was in the garden. You're right. Yeah. Hey, other people call her Mildred. I've heard it. All right. It's not just me, but I usually start it. The Joe of Crudgeville agrees with me. I don't know who that is, but let's get into it. So we were talking about Champions League. You said you watched it, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think about it?
It's kind of what I expected, because I remember Ray asking me when the draw was coming up who I wanted, and I said Real Madrid, because they play more open football, will give us more opportunity to get out there and try to score, lean on our defense. That's kind of what we did. Wasn't as accurate or precise as the first game, but that's kind of hard to do. I mean, Rice gave you those two stunning kicks for the first game. So this game, it's kind of like you were never worried once the ball kicked off. At least I wasn't. I can't believe
we didn't score for 45 minutes. So to say everything was all right.
You're up 3-0 at halftime, Gary. You're not.
They can score 3 goals and a half. It's not uncommon for them to do that.
I've seen them score 5.5.
So there you go. So what? So now you're making it. It's even worse. Then they can score 4. They could have scored 4 goals. They've done it before.
But that was before PSG where they're at now.
Yeah, well, if Arsenal has a bad day, remember, a bad day, injury, red card, anything could have come out in that second half. No. And so we got that goal to give us that 4-goal cushion. It's still like it's still time for them to come back. Still time. But yeah, that first half, I can't even recall as far as did we feel, did we have opportunities missed? You know, did we have opportunities missed in that first half? I don't. It just seemed like
No, it kind of
no.
seemed like we're in cruise control.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it didn't seem like we really were going to push ourselves to go get that goal. We're just going to take what they gave us, and they weren't going to give us much because they knew if we got the goal, we would run away from them. So, yeah, yeah.
That's the way you want to play, though. You just want to go out there
Mm-hmm.
and if you attack first to get before goals, then you leave yourself open from a counter. Then it's 3-1.
Good night, Mildred.
You don't want to be in 3-1 to start off the game. So
For sure.
it's good being conservative sometimes.
Yep.
You do have a defense to rely on.
No, for sure. Like I said, defense. Defense has been solid for us, and as a geek says here, getting that win, the only win by a team that made it through, right? Momentum, and I've always said that I rather, I don't care who's playing. I know we have to make substitutions and whatnot, but we need to still be trying to get wins, and we're now on a at least a 3-game winning streak, probably more than that, right? I think, did we win before we went? No, we didn't. So we're on a 3-game winning streak as we sit right now. So yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? We'll take this momentum. We want to keep going. We still want to win out a season. For me, the challenge is maintain second place in the league, and why not try to get a trophy as well?
We said 7 ahead of them now.
Yeah, that's it. 2, 4, 6. We got 6 games. We got 7 games left in the season if we make it to the finals. So why not 7-game winning streak? Finish off with a 9-game winning streak. That'd be really nice, right? Yeah. So that, like I said, that first half, back and forth, not really anybody punishing anybody. Going to halftime, I was like, all right, well, now we just need to come out there in the second half and see what we can do. Saka gets a nice goal in the second half. Moreno with a nice pass, and Saka putting it away, a little chip over the goalkeeper. And what was interesting is just before that, right? Wasn't it just before that? Actually, in the first half, Saka got a penalty, and that's what it was. And I can't remember. That's what it was in that first half. Saka had a penalty, and I'm thinking, all right, there's the goal that we want. And I didn't like. I don't know if you did, how you felt about it, but I did not like the way that Erdogan was holding that ball at just to try to throw people off. Because for me, just it was. I think sometimes when you try to be smart and be a trickster, you affect your concentration and your preparation for your players, and I think that's what happened. I think he went and tried something different because we were playing games. I don't know how you felt about Erdogan picking up the ball and acting like he was going to take it.
Yeah, I don't like it too much. I think he needs to be decisive and who's going to take the kick.
No, that was the plan. It wasn't as if Erdogan wasn't taking it. The plan was make it seem like he was, but
that's what I was just saying, Gary. It's like you just line up, you get ready to shoot it. With who's going to take the shot? You don't dilly-dally around with it. You just go up there, take your target, usually low or high. I still like low and towards the crossbar.
Well, I think the thought was good. Execution was bad, but I think the execution was bad because he hadn't had enough time to think about what he was going to do because he was too busy sitting in the background letting Erdogan hold on to the ball. I think so for me, he said what he was trying to do later on, and if his execution was correct, he would have kicked it straight down the middle, and then it wouldn't look so bad. But he basically kicked it to the left. Goalkeeper was going to the left, stuck an arm up, and voila, it didn't work. So, but that's the other part. 14 minutes later, another penalty in the box. This time VAR steps in, and this time VAR actually sides with Arsenal. And and it's against Declan Rice, and Declan Rice is like, nah, there's no way that's a penalty. You look at the replay. Did it look like a penalty to you?
No.
Yeah. Man went down really light. I think even in the game today, one of the Nottingham Forest defenders was basically had a handful of the attacker's jersey, and they didn't want to call a penalty in the box because the player didn't go down, but the player couldn't also get to the ball because he's been held, and it's interesting, right?
They seem to hold their whistles on those, and I don't like it. They hold the whistles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a penalty if they're keeping them from getting to a ball.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can do is step back and then go like this, and then the referee will go, well, you had freedom of movement. And it's like, no, I didn't, because he's holding me still, So
I remember like when Saka kind of got tired of getting fouled, so he started going to the ground, and he wasn't getting those calls that anything. He was getting yellows for simulation with it. Wasn't. It was genuine contact. He might outsell it, but it's still a contact inside a box and should be called. But
yeah, no, Saka he should know he's not going to get the calls. I mean, there's been worse fouls put on him, and nothing's been called. So he's just gonna either play for it or get away from it, or get the ball out from before they have a chance to put a foot on them, kind of thing. But yeah, let's go through the chat real quick. Oh yeah, that's right. Mr. Tom was in all seriousness, I do appreciate the enthusiasm and respect for my team's achievement. Yeah, everybody's happy to see that you've made it up. So come on with the big boys. We've got, just to be clear, Sam Greenwood is missing tonight. Is he still trying to kick himself in the? I don't even know. Rose, you need to put translations up here. Nobody knows what you're trying to say. It doesn't even look like. I don't know what word that is. Yes. Got. Don't know what this is all about. Got BBK Sports in the house. Welcome to the show. I'm going to try to join him on one of his shows in the near future. So, let's see. The episode of the trip is sponsored by. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't think I want to know what that is. Dude Wipes. You know what that is?
Yeah, that's just like wet flushable wet wipes. They're a little bigger, a little thicker. I call them Dude Wipes.
I personally didn't really want you to explain it at all. I just want you to say, yeah, that's nonsense, and let's move on.
He just did it because they sponsored a match yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was on the turnbuckles.
Didn't watch it. Cheese and onion McCoys. Oh, I don't know. But I know sour cream and onion. I don't know about cheese and onion. Where is?
I still love the way you look like a 5-year-old kid when you're announcing the wrestling.
Just enjoying it. According to Melina, licorice is not nice. What? I don't know what that means. Yes. Yeah, that's right. We would only. Yeah.
I don't like black licorice.
Yeah.
I like it in gummy, like the gummy.
What are you saying? You're mumbling your words.
Easter eggs.
The magic eggs? The little magic eggs? The little Cadbury eggs?
No, the little chewy gummy ones.
Oh, you mean like jelly beans?
Yes, jelly beans. My mind went blank, Gary.
All right.
As the sun turns up to like 1000%.
You should put the blinds up or something, dude.
I'm the like.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, Arsenal's the only team to win both legs. We'll take that. We need to win 3 more, and I'll be happy. We'll all be happy, right? Everybody be happy. I mean, people who want Arteta out would go and get him a statue. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see
I'll
that.
just I'll just be glad when we're in the championship, so I don't have to hear about legs anymore.
In the championship, who's you? What do you mean?
Championship game. Championship game.
You mean the final? Because the
Yeah,
championship sounds like you were relegating us instead of getting us promoting us to the next statue of like a team with all the big trophies. So
come on, Gary.
yeah,
American sports is a championship.
yeah. Black licorice, I get you. It's not good. Red licorice, I like that. So 1 and
Do
2 with
do you like with strawberry or do you like with cherry?
Strawberry.
Yeah,
My daughter
strawberry's a
likes
lot better.
she likes the cherry that has the like stuff in the middle of it. I don't know what they call that thing. Some new kind of licorice thing. 180 minutes away from a final. That is a priority. You got that. The way I thought we were gonna line up this weekend in preparation for that, but we didn't do that. So we'll get into that as well. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Chris, you need to sort something out. 5 likes. All right, people, hit the likes. Come on. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. Yep. For those who watched that second leg of the PSG Villa match, yeah, Villa was able to come back into that. And for me, you know what? That's good to see, but we'll see how they play against us because they know where I think we're defensively better, and if they kind of do the things they did to Villa, they'll get in trouble. I think because we will take advantage of it. Saka, will take advantage of that if he gets a choice.
Now I look like a mobster, Gary.
You look like a mobster. Why? Because now we can actually see you instead of the sunlight.
Yeah.
But you don't have the voice for it. You don't have the right voice. So Oklahoman gangster just doesn't. It doesn't even roll off the tongue right. So yeah, I don't know if you even sound. Do you sound like an Oklahoman?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
But it does vary on what part of the state you're in.
All right. I don't know what they sound like, so that's why I'm asking. Like I suppose I think I know what it. Go ahead.
Like the southeast part, like it was just like 20 miles away from Oklahoma City, but the woman's like the storm just blew out our windows.
The windows. All right, you got it. That sounds like the South to me, but it could do with the South as well. Yeah. No, I think the one thing Arsenal has for us is everybody knows what we're going to do, but nobody knows how to stop it because I think we are pretty solid when it comes to defense. How do you break us down and not make mistakes yourself? And you see what happens when teams make mistakes; they lose 3-0. So yeah.
It's harder with Timber in there because they don't chip the ball over him and go into space because he's usually in a pretty good spot on the pitch.
Yep. No, I know, people talk about Timber being on the, on the right, and the difference between him and Ben White is why the game looks so different on the weekend. Ben White on the right there opens things up for Odegaard and Partey, which I get that to some degree because they want him to overlap. But then for me, if you're more secure behind you, for me, that should allow you to take even more risks. Not necessarily risks, but calculated risks because you're solid. It's solid behind you. So for me, it's a catch-22. Either you have the Ben White coming up, and then we can see like counters against us, or you have Timber there, and guess what? Now you've got you can just go there and attack, and not have to worry about the defensive responsibilities because you're secure behind you. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I think Timber should allow the attackers to go out there and do different things as
Yeah,
opposed to.
like I said, I thought Timber was to be the key to winning this game and winning the tie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does make a huge difference. I'm just so in a mindset. If you're attacking with your fullbacks, you might as well be in the back three.
You might as well be in the what?
You might as well set up with a back three back
Oh,
there. That way you don't have to worry about somebody running back into space. And I don't think you want Ben White doing that when he's still recovering from his injury.
I mean, well, there you go. That's probably why that's probably why we don't do that, because when we can attack from both sides, we don't have to worry. At least for now, we don't have to worry about that. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd rather have a fullback do what a fullback does, like Timber, and I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy the flexibility that we have with, like a Skelly or a Calafiore or a White in terms of attack, but we don't take advantage of that when we should, anyways. When we're playing against a team that's not going to be able to threaten us, we don't take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you told me we're going to play Calafiore, Skelly, or and Ben White in two of the fullback positions, I'm going to think we're going to be outscoring someone, right? But we don't ever do
Yep.
that. We don't ever do that. So yeah, let me go through this chat right quick. But yeah, no, I think our football is consistent. We can repeat it over and over again, and nobody can stop us. I think PSG just showed us, from one game to the next how they play, and you know what, we'll be pretty sound, and I think we can get something on them even fully at their tops. At their tops, with everybody they got, we still can be better than them. Check out these links, everybody. These are all friends of the channel. Check it all out. All right, all right, all right. All right, Mr. Tom's gone. Good night, Mr. Tom. He's had a long day. I don't know if that means he's been drinking or just cheers. Got Tony's channel here. Check that out. And I don't know who Allison is, but all right. Good night. I don't know who Allison is. All right, that's a weird one. Yep, check out there was wrestling over the weekend. I know, Tony, you did a show. It was on Saturday.
I did one Saturday morning / afternoon, Saturday evening, and then last night. So
Oh, cool.
3 shows.
Yeah. No, I hung out with the boss, and I went to, what do we do? Went out for a meal. I did
11 hours. 11 hours of wrestling ruined by the end of it.
Oof, oof. Yep. Check out Miss Melina. I think I said she did some shows. Check her out. Everybody, check her out. BBK Sports. Got Anders in the house. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I don't know who this is, Don Corleone, but yep. If you love Leeds, you're fine today. You'll be fine today. Yep. Everybody, all the Leeds fans are happy. They're moving on. So let's get into it. All right. So second half, as I said, Marino lays one up. Puts a ball in for Saka. Saka chips the goalkeeper very nicely. Very nicely. Marino has shown his worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's at double digits in GA since he's taken over. Just since he's taken over, on top of the 2 goals or so that he had coming in. Right now, they're showing the red card to Juan Davis from Ipswich. I don't know what he's complaining about. He put his foot down right on the back of Saka's leg, which is a concern for most people going into a game, right?
Yeah.
And it's a terrible foul. He knew what he was doing, and he paid for it. I mean, the replay shows it even worse than the initial tackle. Doesn't look that bad. You see somebody come up from the back, you think he's actually trying to kick him in the back, try to get to the ball, which he wasn't ever going to get. But they do it anyways, right? But you can see it comes straight down on the back of the leg.
I just still hate when people, if they're trying to play the ball, it's not a foul. It's a foul. It's the intent.
Well, playing the ball is one thing. If you're playing, like I always tell I always scream at my defenders for like not playing the ball instead of the man. They always go through the man, and you're like, if you play the ball, it won't look like you're going through the man. I mean, the ball's on the right hand side, and you're going straight through the back of the man. Guess what? It's easy foul to call. All right. At once Saka goes down on that foul, I'm like, get him out, and Arteta once again doesn't take him out, lets him come in and play the second half. He needed to come out of that game and get as we saw at the end of the game, iced up and get out of there and hopefully recover in time for the next match. I think that was silly. You got a 2-goal lead. They're down a man. Bring on some fresh legs and Weary, and let's finish this thing off right. Right?
What did Ranieri do? He did what he does.
What I'm saying, like on that, yeah, that's in the next game. We haven't even got to that game, but if you saw it, but we'll finish off here. So finish off in the championship. She got me saying a championship in the Champions League. I think, what is it? 2 minutes later. I know some people might say Raya put in a terrible pass to Saliba. Saliba doesn't realize what's around him and gets the ball nicked off of him by Vinicius, who then puts a ball in before anybody knows what's going on, and it's 1-1 at that point. I don't know who's at fault. Raya, Saliba. Nobody.
Reyes told to play it out from the back. That's one part of Saliba's game he needs to work on, just that positional awareness, knowing that somebody's right over you. We paid for it.
Yeah, it happens to us too many times, and I don't know if that's the goalkeeper not giving them warning or putting on the ball. Like if he should be looking for that because he's the one that can see it because they're coming up from behind. So the goalkeeper's got to put that ball in a position that takes them away from the attacker, right? Or don't pass it, or point or something before you pass it. Because I think he didn't even have to pass it to him. He had a couple of ticks before he had to pass it.
Yeah, it's kind of you want to be aware as a goalkeeper what's around you, and the thing you want to do almost is tell your defenders what's going on.
Yeah. Or they have that communication that basically when I put the ball in a position that doesn't look right, it's probably because there's somebody coming up behind you. You know what I mean? That unspoken kind of like, action that you put in that you see teams when they've been clicking for a while, they just make a pass and it's like what, and you notice why they make it. And that's kind of what they need to get into.
You figure after 2 years together, they would have that figured out.
Yeah. Because I think Ray has put players in positions like that before. I mean, it's not even Ray. I think we've seen the same thing from Ramsdale as well. So it's something Arteta seems to instill in his players that it's okay just to make the pass and assume they're going to be okay when it's not always right. So Vinicius,
just pick it 50 yards up the pitch out of bounds and restart.
Yeah, worse. Yeah, when I coach, I tell the kids that all the time. I'd rather you kick it out of bounds than try to make a play and it doesn't go our way. Just we can always reset on defense. I'd rather reset on defense deep in our attack deep in our defensive third than have a pass go the wrong way. And next thing you know, bad things happen. Oh, Geeks is gone too. Geeks, I was going to put that up. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. The Brits, they come in to check in with us and then they have to get some Z's, but I appreciate it. Yeah. So Rosie's out as well. Rosie, have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
At 1 o'clock, it's bedtime.
Yeah. Have a good night. For those who are still around and still hanging out with us, cool. Yep. So it's 1-1. It's not that bad, right? We still got a 3-goal lead. They're going to have to score 3 goals. And Same as the first half. Not much going on. I mean, I don't recall anything big happening in that second half. I don't think they could break us down enough to get anything out of what they wanted.
And it was pretty uneventful game for the most part.
Yeah, as the game went on, it looked like Real Madrid probably realized, look, this is not going to happen. Whatever we're trying to do is not going to work. They don't whoever they were missing, whatever they're missing, they didn't have it on the bench. I mean, they probably wanted a younger Modric, right? They don't have one of those because he's old now. So, and I think they're missing. They don't have a younger uh, center forward striker. So we're missing one of those as well. I mean, I know Mbappe plays up towards the middle kind of there, but he's not really a striker the way their strikers have been in the past. The Ronaldos, who's the last striker for them? Yeah. I forget his name now. I forget names. I'm bad. Sorry. But they needed a big striker. I mean, that's where a Holland would have probably come in handy for them. But I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Or just somebody pretty good from their academy would probably work.
You think somebody good from their academy is going to be able to come into the quarterfinals of the Champions League and be able to break down an Arsenal defense? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Say it would.
Like, are you saying that? Like, are you going to be serious and say that Real Madrid's academy has a player who's good enough to beat down our defense?
I'm sure they have somebody with speed.
So you're serious about that?
I mean, if you're down 3 goals, you're gonna try anything to give a goal. So
you seriously think there's a player in there? I'll keep saying the same thing over and over again. You seriously think there's a player in the Real Madrid academy they could have brought into this game that have broken down the Arsenal defense that's given up how many goals in the Champions League?
I think somebody in there exists, Gary.
You're talking nonsense. I'm sorry, sir. You're talking nonsense if you think there's a player like that sitting in their academy that they don't want to use, that they don't even want to put on the bench in the first team. Yeah.
How do you know that on the bench, Gary?
If there was a player that good, Tony, he would be on the bench and they would have brought him in because they did pull Mbappe in that game.
We have one, but our center doesn't play in there.
Who is our academy player that can break down one of the best defenses in the world?
One, Aaron.
He can break down one of the best defenses in the world. You think so?
Yep.
As a striker, because he's not a striker.
He's an attacker, Gary.
You think he can break it down? Have you seen him break anybody down?
I think he can.
Have you seen him do it?
Have I seen him have enough chances to do it?
Have you seen him do it because he's had chances to do it?
I don't know. He's at one point he was like 0.94 in goals per 90, so it's almost a goal a game. So
yeah. And the question isn't can he score goals, because I know he can. That's why I want him on the pitch. The question is, can he break down a defense the way you would want from a striker?
I think so, by his passing and his runs and stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think he's there yet. I mean, you're talking like for me. I think at this point, the few strikers out there in the world that can do that are one named Isak for sure. And I don't know too many others that can break us down.
If there was the opposite way, Gary, if we were down three goals, you would be one Neri to come out, right?
I want Neri to start for us, all right, but he's not starting as a center forward for us, so I don't think he's the striker answer that I'm looking for right now, or the false nine. And even a false nine he's not going to be. We're going to have wings that are going to be able to do it, and we don't have those big wings either. So, I don't know. That's my thought there on that one. But
I have faith, Gary.
Your faith. I just like to look at what I see, and if I don't see what I want, I feel like we don't got it. We got to do something else, and that's what we do. We do something else. But anyways, like I was saying, the rest of the game, it looked like Real Madrid had given up. They pulled in Mbappe. I believe he got injured. Actually, so it wasn't necessarily that he wasn't doing well, but I think he got injured and had to come off, and the game just kind of fizzled because that's what we wanted. Silly at the 85 minutes. Rudiger puts a foul in, I think, on Rice, I believe it is, and or Martinelli. I can't remember who it was. And silly man Partey comes out to defend him, which is kind of silly because Rudiger already had been presented with a yellow card, and don't know why he did that at all. I mean, he was protecting, but at that point he should have he had to, he knew going into that match that a yellow would be bad, not necessarily bad, be bad for us in the next match. But
what we have, like four players
and four players, yeah, he had four players. Rice, I think Rice, Timber, Partey, and I can't remember who else. Was it Saliba maybe? I don't know if it was Saliba, but we had four players that were on the cusp of getting with a yellow being knocked, not available for the first leg. Partey, probably the most senior of all of them, should have known better, but he didn't. He did not. But anyways, go into extra time, and Moreno puts in another ball, a very, very, very nice ball to Martinelli. Martinelli, he didn't do his patting his hands out wide like he did against, I think it was West Ham, or was that Villa? I think it was Villa, right? It was Villa because it was
Villa.
yeah, it was against Martinez when he scored when he had the own goal, but he didn't put his hands out. But it looks eerily similar to that one, a through ball puts him through. Is really nice ball because the defender is right there with him, but he's able to run past the defender, which is something we don't get to see him. But I think about that play, right? The defender's right with him, but he pulls away from him. But in other situations, he can't get away from the defender, so he just needs more space. And as you said, he needs those long balls sometimes. He can't just take a ball and then just take a man, but he needs those long balls, those little through balls, and that's what he did.
The least amount of time he has the ball, it's usually better. So those through balls and long balls, just running onto them and
less time
try
to
to
think.
kick it past the goalkeeper, then you celebrate.
Yeah, less time to think. Like less time to think on the ball, just go, and that's what he did, right? That's kind of what I feel like. Sometimes that's like Sterling sitting on the ball for too long. His shot's always going to be off, you know it. Martinelli getting too much time to think about what he's going to do. If he doesn't have an opportunity to score, then it usually ends up being he just runs into nowhere. But Arsenal, yeah,
That's where the football IQ comes in, and you could see that kind of in this game with Persard out there.
that's the plan B, right? That's the plan
Yeah.
B. He doesn't have that plan B. Doesn't have that plan B. So what we got here? So that's how that game ends. Arsenal finishes up with that goal late in extra time. 5-1 in aggregate. On we go to the semis. Really good week of football.
Imagine how much money, imagine all the money you would win, Gary, if you picked Arsenal to win the tie 5-1.
5-1, 3-0. I think that would have made you some money. Nobody would have thought 3-0. They would have thought maybe a win, but a 3-0 win. No, I don't think that would have happened. So yeah, very nice, very nice. We'll take it, and we'll take the goals however they come. We kind of beat them in all different ways. Should have had a penalty, but that didn't happen. Yes. All right. Now we move on. We've been chatting for a bit. We move on to, Saka. It sounded like after the game, Saka was going to be okay, but I felt he should have, once again, he should have come out as soon as the red card came out. They were gonna, not say go after him, but his leg needed to be treated. That's the one. That's the cotton wool. Get the cotton wool out. Let's see what we do there.
Yeah, it's like you don't have anything to win, but you have everything to lose by keeping him out there.
Yes.
And there's just no sense of him being out there. So
Mm-hmm.
have him set up in the stands with his buddies and do whatever they do in the stands.
Cool. It's like we've lost some people today. I think it is still the Easter holiday, so I'm going to give that a say. They probably had their meals and drink and all of that. Hopefully they'll be back next week when everything's back to normal.
Probably would drink Gary.
Probably the drink. Yes.
I'm not sure what they do for leftovers or.
I think they have the meal on the day, and I know a lot of people were saying like they, maybe have the big meal on the Monday. Maybe not Monday, but I guess Sunday is Easter, right? But Monday is a day to just chill out. So got to enjoy and get ready for the week. But anyways, there we go.
Yeah. And yesterday was double Easter because it was Orthodox Easter as well. So
okay.
Both the calendars lined up. So.
True. Yeah, on in terms of religion stuff going on, the Pope has passed away. It's weird because I saw there's a video or a report on him not even a week or so ago. They're just chatting about him being up and about. I think after being away, being out of sight for a bit.
Yeah, because he had pneumonia, and then sometimes it comes back if you don't get it totally cleared out of your body.
Yeah, well, he came back. He's presented himself. It was videotaped, and then soon after, I guess passed away. So they're gonna. I saw conclave, so I assume that's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna have to be waiting for I think is it the red smoke or the black smoke? I can't remember how that works, but
I can't remember either.
I think it's the red smoke. I think so. So we've seen conclave, so we know how it's done. All right, so let's get in.
It seems like they're like black smoke or white smoke and red smoke.
Oh, white smoke. Maybe that's what it is. I had red smoke. You're probably right. It's probably that white smoke. So let's get into it. The next game, which I did see. You said you may have saw highlights or something, but let's get into that. So Arsenal travels to Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town essentially, I believe, needed to get a win, I think, to maintain their status, at least give themselves a chance, even though that chance means they would have had to win their next 5 matches. Arsenal didn't help them out at all. They came into play, but Arsenal. I mean, I think one thing that we noticed, right, is Arsenal pretty much had a strong 9. Not that our 2 fullbacks that they brought in weren't good enough, but we didn't have our strongest 11 for sure. But we had a strong 9, and then we had who was it? Then we had White and Zinchenko playing fullbacks. I mean, I think if anything, I don't know about you, but that outside of the fullbacks, I believe that is essentially the 9 that will be playing. Yeah. I guess against PSG, we probably won't see them next. I guess Wednesday this week when we play again, but that's what it looked like to me. And Ben White, I think, looked well. And like I said, he opened things up for that right-hand side, even though if you noticed, he might open things up for them, but he didn't overlap as much during when we scored. I mean, I'm just looking at it right now. The goals that were scored, that ball's just passed through, and you know what? You've got your runners going, right? And they're attacking. So I as much as they're saying Timber doesn't open things up, yesterday it wasn't White overlapping that did it. We just ran right past him. So offensively, when we're in that position, we can do that. Yeah.
It's in our locker, but we
Yeah.
need to unlock the lock more.
It sounds like he's watching wrestling because I don't know what any of that means. Big Gunner's in the house. Well, thanks for joining us. And I don't know if I said thank you, but you're here.
No,
So
that means Randy Orton did his finisher move, the RKO.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
The
Whatever you
son
just
of
said.
Cowboy
Yeah.
Bill Orton.
Oh, whatever you just said. But yeah, Arsenal in that first half probably should have been up 3-0 easily. 3-0 should have been up. I mean, Saka should have had the amount of minutes that Saka played. He should have, I think 4-0 actually, but the way Saka played in that first half, I think he had at least 2 opportunities where you're expecting him to score, at least put the ball on target. He didn't. And he, I mean, he kind of upset me a little bit because he was smiling
Yeah.
when he missed, and I'm like, "What are you smiling about, dude?"
Yeah,
I mean, I think he was enjoying his.
he's kind of like me, Gary. He always smiles.
Yeah, but he's smiling after he missed 3 opportunities to score in that match, 2 in that first half. Balls that he just couldn't curl into the pocket. And I think part of that could have been because he was injured and he needed to be out, but he missed some
He definitely
opportunities
should
there.
have played in that game.
Yeah, he missed
If
some
so,
opportunities. Yeah.
if so, bringing him on 20 minutes. But to me, if you bring him on the last 20, you might as well not bring him out at all.
No, the last 20 is fine just to get a little run out. But I personally, I think taking him off at halftime is just as good because I feel like you can give the player who's coming on time to actually warm up, like get like a decent warm up because they can warm up while everybody's in the locker room getting rested and whatever.
The thing I don't like about the last 20s, Gary, is most of those guys have tired legs, so they're gonna be late with challenges and stuff. So that's kind of the
Or he's going to be fast
danger.
enough to run away from them. So either way, like I said, that's why I get it. Yeah. There's what you can get hurt in practice the same way, right? So I kind of feel like if you're going to give him minutes, give him minutes. But when things come to pass, like that red card, that's a warning. Usually, I say heed the warning.
Yeah.
We're playing next week. I mean, on Wednesday we're playing Crystal Palace, and we know they could just assume do the same thing as far as leave some tackles in there. Cena just got RKO'd. All right, did he? So they just wrestled this weekend and are wrestling again.
Yeah, they usually do that Monday after WrestleMania, and that was the main match. Last night, which the rapper interfered, drug a referee out. Cody Rhodes was the one, but Travis Scott cost Cody.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, that first half, Saka missed some shots, which I think he should at least put on target, at least test the goalkeeper. Game would have been over in that first half. He probably would have definitely been off. But you've got Trossard with a nice goal. I mean, I'm trying to think how his goal was scored. I think that's right. I think Saka off the left put a ball in, and I think Saka got robbed of a couple of assists in this game, or at least one in this game. But I think Saka gets the ball, crosses it in, and I think Erdegaard tries to get a foot on it and doesn't touch, just barely touches it, but it continues on to Trossard, and Trossard is able to score leaning backwards or falling backwards when he got leaned on very nicely, put right between the legs of the defender, and by the time the goalkeeper saw it, goal. Yeah, that's how that one. Yeah,
that's what you get with him.
Yeah, and then the next goal, about 12 minutes later, it's Saka once again with a nice cross. Moreno with a nice little back pass to a wide open Martinelli. He just taps it in. So Saka, I mean, he wasn't going to get that assist, but he definitely is the reason why we got those goals. And he had 2 opportunities himself to get shots at the target, and he didn't finish it. So
Hockey assist, Gary. The assist.
Yeah, it's not it's not an assist, but it is a creator, right? We talk about goal creations, and that's what he does, and that's what I thought Erdegaard would be doing for us, but obviously that's not what he does either, according to
It's what
what he
he
does.
does, but it's what strengthens Arteta gives him. He
Well, I
doesn't
don't
get.
think he gets the goal creations as you say. I think he maybe opens things up for us, but I don't think he's the pass before the goal.
Yeah, he's probably more of just the pass to a goal.
What do you mean?
So,
He
so,
doesn't.
so, so sometimes he sees things.
Well, he sees things, but I mean, I personally thought that his technique and his talents would be better suited further up the pitch, and
Like I said, there.
and be the assist maker. But he see my thing is, and I said this on the show I did on Sunday. Erdegaard is an 8. Okay, I'll take that. Well, if he's an 8, I don't want that 8.
I don't think he's late.
But he doesn't play. He doesn't play as a 10.
He has before for us.
No. He doesn't play. No, you're saying about something that may have happened in the past. Talking
Yeah,
about right
but
now.
I'm saying
Oh, look! Wait a
Arteta.
second. Wait a second. Wait a second. We got somebody in the back room here who might want to chime in and fight me. He's probably been. Let's see how he's doing.
I'm not in a fighting mood, but what you got?
Spencer's in the house, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, the missus said you need to go sit on the stream, so I figured I'd come hang out with y'all.
Oh man, that means get away from her. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you
Get on
something,
that
man.
carpet and get on the internet.
There was a sign, and Gary, you're the father of daughters and married. You know, there's times where you gotta get away from both of them. That's all I'm gonna say. Any other women in the chat know what's up. You just gotta get away. So,
I hear
glad
that.
to be here.
I think
Cool.
more women have already went to bed.
Yeah. Now we were just chatting here about Erdogan, and I was on a chat on Sunday after the women's match, after our match actually, and trying to figure out what Erdogan is an 8 for us, but I don't like his 8. If that's what he is for us, if he's an 8, then I don't like that 8. He's not a 10, even though I think I would rather him become a 10, but like he doesn't play like a 10. So then, what is he? He's not my 8, and he plays an 8. Like Rice is an 8 for us. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like when I think of an 8, I don't think of what he does, and maybe that's just
multiple
me.
Things. I think he's asked to do multiple hats during the game, and it's in the 8 and the 10 role. I think 10 is really dead in the modern game. I mean, the 8's kind of expected to do everything, or a 10 was kind of more of a creative playmaker that would stay kind of close to the 50, right behind the midway line, right behind the striker, whereas an 8 is more of a box-to-box where you're expected to defend as well. I mean, the reason Arsenal's really good at defending, and I know I'm pivoting from the Odegaard thing, but I'll come back to it, is our wingers defend as well too, and that helps out with it. I like Odegaard, man. Like, I like what I see with him sometimes. I think the data backs it up too. He's our biggest chance, progressive passer. He's one of our biggest scoring chances created, and he's had a down year compared to his standard, but it's interesting because our midfielders are really asked to wear multiple hats unless you're the 6 where you're Partey or Rice when they play those positions, right? So it's really hard to really – when you think of an Odegaard, all you think about is creative playmaker, right? That's what the MO, the history, the everything. But he's asked to do so much more different stuff this year. It's really hard to really put him into one position, if that makes sense.
This is kind of like the second and a half year he's been given these instructions where he's back there and protecting White. He really doesn't have to do it with Timber and unlocking going forward, but with White back there, he's saying stuff because instructions is go back up the defense first and learn about I'll think second.
Your audio is
Then
starting.
there you lose a lot of the value of a
There we
player. You're not getting your money's worth out of him because that's the instructions he's given. It's in his locker.
Your audio is still. Your whatever you did for like a couple of seconds, it worked, and then it went back again. Like, sounds like you're in a bubble or in a bowl or something. So you can't hear you. You can just about get what you're saying. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I think it should be easy, and I think the way that he should be asked to play should be easy. Just like some of the play that we get from our defenders and stuff. And I think for him it should be easy. I mean, I get him on the press and all of that. I get him in terms of maybe being a captain and organizing a little bit in that mid area there. But I kind of felt like, and I believe the reason why I believe he was looked at by Real Madrid wasn't because of his ability to just press and to play a more play further back. I thought it would have been further up. So maybe that's me. Not, not getting this football thing, but I feel like when he was when he was further up the pitch and making runs and getting balls passed to him, crossing, Partey, crossing lines with his passing, and he's running at the back, the attacking, the attackers and stuff like that. That's what I thought we'd get a lot more, and he'll get better at it and stuff like that. Him being able to be not only just the creator as he comes up the pitch, but also when needed, put a ball through the net as well. We don't get that either. So I get like he's got some responsibilities. I just feel like not as much of it is on the offensive side for me.
I mean, it's hard because I know I'm about to repeat what I already said, but the expectation versus reality with him. I also think this year, and even with Rice, and I think the whole midfield has struggled with the fact that we haven't been clinical at top, and that's Saka, Martinelli, Havertz with the time they missed. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah. No, like I said, I don't like him as an 8 because I don't think that's what an 8's supposed to do. But as he said, we don't do that. We don't do. You don't like our fullbacks inverting because you feel like we should just go with a back 3. Well, I don't like our 8s playing so deep that they play almost as a 6 sometimes. And but then also press. You muted yourself. You muted yourself, Tony. I can't hear you. You're both muted.
Now can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
But I think you handcuff yourself into doing that because you're attacking with your full backs. That means you have to be defending with your midfielders. So the 8s are going the wrong direction. You want them going forward. I think that's kind of what they're supposed to do: stay centrally, then drop back when needed. But they're dropping back way too much because most of the game you're trying to get wide or Calipari or those type of Zinchenko, those type of fullback versus what you do with Timber, where he stays where he should be, and then Odegaard can go and attack more. I think it's because of Arteta, what he tells him to do. I think he has it because we've seen him get the 15 goals before, and now he hardly ever has a gun on goal. I don't know. I'm like you. I don't like it. I don't think it's what we should be asking to do. But
yeah, your audio is not coming in. I don't know if your AirPods are weak or what, but they come and go. It's coming and going.
I don't know if BX is talking about Moreno or talking about Odegaard or talking about both, because it could be assessed to both. Odegaard can play where he's told. Moreno can play where he's told. And the thing that I really think is interesting about, because it is important, the Odegaard press is important. When he's not there, we do see that. We do see the issue. I think that's something I really noticed Sunday when I was watching the game is the reimmersion of the Ben White, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, as I like to call it, triangle of influence. There we go. On that side of the pitch where they're just kind of working together like it's a little training match and trying to find the space. And, Saka makes a run and Odegaard passes to White makes whoever. And that's something that was so critical. And I think that's something that when we started going to the inverted left back that hurt Martinelli's game. Because you used to have players like Tierney that would overlap and allow Martinelli to cut in a little further as vice what he does now where he goes around the corner. And I was talking to my buddy about this, and we haven't really had a chance to discuss it, Gary, and Tony. But Martinelli and Saka on, and I'm going back to the Champions League game, when they got the ball, I don't know about you guys, but my breath stopped for a couple of seconds because I didn't know what they were going to do with it. And it's a good thing. Like, I wasn't scared when Martinelli got the ball because he gave them so many fits. Saka gave them so many fits. We hear about Rodrigo and Vinicius. I don't want to hear about it, man. I got my boy Martinelli and Saka, and I feel confident about them compared to those two. That's all I'm going to say. I saw it. Martinelli, you put him up in that league, he's scoring 20 goals a season. I don't want to hear about La Liga and all that stuff, but we need to get back to that. And, of course, I think if Victor Gyorkas comes in, you got him and Havertz playing striker, and Moreno can play it for you and play in the 8 or whatever you're going to do with him. We're in a really good spot right now. I know we're talking about Odegaard and what we would like to see more of. And, we look back at the end of the year. If you compare this year to last year, Gary and Tony, like you will see a drop-off. That's undeniable. But I don't think it's a permanent dip in form that we're going to see a further regression next year is my point. I think we've not been clinical up top. I don't think we've taken really good chances. Havertz, Martinelli, Trossard, they've missed some chances that they should put away. And I think next year those will fall through. And if you can add a Gyorkas, a Sesko, or whoever, I think that it's gonna raise everybody's level. And you just gotta be excited. Look, we're 180 minutes away from playing in a Champions League final. If you're not excited right now, man, I don't know what to tell you, man. But I do get the concern from Odegaard. I like what I see out of him. I think I watch him in a different light. I think now that Havertz is out, I watch Odegaard more when he runs and his footwork, his press, his work rate. Those things matter because your captain has to push everybody forward, right? Mm-hmm. Leading by example. And that's the thing. Like, I remember the Netflix or the Amazon documentary. We didn't hear from Odegaard, which I thought was weird because he was the captain, and you're like, I want to hear from him.
I don't think he's that kind of. I don't think he's that kind of captain, which is why right. I don't think he should have the armband because he's not that kind of captain. Like, what a captain looks like to me is when Partey makes a stupid mistake and there's a captain there telling him, you know, this is like on the pitch, the armband should be that guy, right? That's what he is. That's what
Gabriel.
He is. Well, I'm just saying the things that Rice was doing in the last number of games as far as out there, I think that's what you want out of your I mean, I think Rice has leadership qualities also coming in. He hasn't been here long enough than Gabriel, who's been here for a while. So, his seniority might be one reason why he would get it if they were going to make a switch. But like, Erdegaard is not that type of captain. So that's fine. If for me, I think that's what kind of captain we need to have, a little bit fiery. That's what we need. Somebody's going to get us up for the game and get us up for any of the good plays that we perform. Yeah, I think I don't think it's something that Erdegaard is comfortable doing, which is fine. Some players can do it, but he's not that type of player that can do that.
I think he does the captaincy diff well. I mean, Arteta wouldn't give him the armband. I really don't.
Well, some people look at Arteta as a captain and go, well, he wasn't that kind of captain either, because then they're comparing him to the captains of old and go, that's not what we want either. Yeah. Right? They're not, he's not. So they're looking at the captaincy a little differently. So that's kind of what I see with Erdegaard. And I think this team needed somebody like a Gabriel, needed somebody like a Rice, and he might. And our captain should not be getting pulled in games. I'm sorry. I think that I know that it might be part injury, it might be whatever it is, but He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be in my eyes.
Do you know what I
Like-
think you bring up too? And I'm sorry to interrupt, and I'll shut up. But the psychology of what you expect in a leader, I think we have different expectations of what we look for in leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just the human psychology. Some people go for the alpha male, some people go for the level-headed person. We all have different expectations of what leadership means to us, right? I mean, you've gone to those classes. I mean, I know Tony, myself, we've been to those.
Yeah.
Here's a plot chart. What are your traits for a leader? And they put a bunch of words on the board, and you start throwing them in there, and everybody has a different example of what a leader is. And I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think there are different styles that motivate different people, and some that just don't have any impact. But Gabrielle would be a different captain than an Odegaard, 100%. And Rice would be a different captain than Odegaard. It's an interesting discussion, though, because it does make you think about what you see on the pitch and vice. Yeah,
I think we talk about Odegaard and we talk about, well, maybe we don't see it, right? And maybe all the other things that he does that we don't see are why he's a captain. And I'm like, well, for me, the captain needs to be somebody that I see doing whatever he's doing on the pitch, because that's the only time we get to see him. So that's kind of how I see that one. Let's go through some of these messages. We'll continue with the captaincy, but we'll go through some of this. Marino is difficult to assess because he's playing with confidence and looks settled now. I don't know. He's not difficult to assess. To me, he doesn't look. It's not difficult to assess. I think Ted has given him a role that he's taken to. I mean, he's giving Curio a role that he's taken to, one that he's actually more comfortable with. And I think what we've seen, at least for me, our defenders take on this. They will take on an offensive persona easily, better than some of our attackers. We've seen it when they get into that attacking third. You got Calafiores and Timbers and Miles Lewis Kelly looking better than our attackers sometimes, and you're like, why can't our attackers do that? And you're like, I think that's I think that's the freedom. And maybe that's the confidence you're talking about. And but he doesn't do that with his attackers. I think he holds them back. I mean, we were just talking about in the last game what Odegaard and the attacks should look like. And if you I'm looking at it, and the 2 goals that we scored, who's right there next to Saka? It's Odegaard, and Ben White's nowhere near. So to say Ben White is one reason, like I was telling Tony, Ben White and his inversion helps, but not in the 2 goals that we scored. Ben White is sitting right at the midline, basically, because that's how the attack opened up. And maybe that's more Ipswich than it is anything else, but that's how it should look. If we're playing a team like Ipswich, it should look like that, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like that. I mean, maybe Ipswich is just that porous, and that's the reason why. But, we should have some games that look like that where we can just open them up really easy, and we haven't looked like that at all. I think this Marino assessment, I don't know what to say about that. I sounded as if he has played striker in the early part of his days, football days, but we found. I mean, I think his midfield skills are being utilized really well in where he is right now, because we've seen it with his passing, and I think we're more concerned in the midfield with his defending and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me, so I think that's what scares us when he moves to the midfield, is that his defense opens us up a little bit more than we care to, when we shouldn't have to do that.
It's a mirror of last year, though. You've seen that with Kai. Kai can help us in the midfield. Jesus goes down, and comes Kai, solidifies the spot. Don't think Mourinho long term will do that, but at least when we know we're in a pinch in the future, we know we can rely on him. So.
Yeah. And I think I mean, maybe that confidence helped him, because when he moved to the midfield yesterday, he didn't look bad at all. So, and I think for me, that just might mean that he needs to play some more football. Similar to Curio, he looks a little iffy, but he gets comfortable in the center back position. He looks fine, right? We don't seem to miss a beat, right? We played against Real Madrid, and we can talk about all these guys are not in the right form, but we're talking about three of the best attackers in the world, right? Based on
Yep.
many people's assessment, and we made all three of them look bad, all three. So all three of them had a bad day twice. I don't know. Is that maybe that's an Arsenal
And a
thing?
lot of that's
Yeah.
timber.
Yeah. That's the one thing Arsenal's got is players they can just play anywhere and they look good. Sometimes you put them in a better position, they look better, right? I think that we've seen that. He looks more solid up top than Jesus, and I think he's playing with house money. That's why. I think he's playing. I think if Arteta gets his grip on him, then we'll probably see a similar style of play. Kind of all the things we're seeing now probably get taken away because there's so much that he needs to do. And I think that's Arteta's, for me. That's where Arteta goes wrong. Sometimes he's got these guys thinking too much. I don't know what you guys think, but I think Arteta has these guys thinking, especially the attackers, thinking so much about everything else, but some of their main priorities that they just lose their way.
No,
Right.
I just don't think they're good enough at times.
I don't think Saka is not good enough. I think he's really good,
I don't know where we would pick
and I think he gets hold back a little bit. Martinelli, he's really good going backwards, and we say that all the time. And then we see some good times, like we've seen recently, some good things from him moving forward, right? And then we see then we see as you say, the bonehead movement, not a bonehead movement, but the football intelligence just go away from him, and we're like, what happened here? So I don't know.
My argument with Moreno is the hold-up play. It allows him to do midfield stuff, but also play striker role at the same time and be comfortable with it because the expectation of what you're asked to do in like that false nine type mentality.
He agreed with Spencer.
He hadn't seen us all day. We've been busy all day. Sorry about that. No, so I think the expectation level from Moreno, it's a tall tale with Moreno. We brought him in for $50 million, and I think this is one of those. Hey, what you don't know now?
30 million.
Was the third? Okay,
Calafiori is 40.
Okay. So for 30 million from Breno, I'll say this, and I say this crap in the rescue stuff constantly. You don't know what you don't know. You think you know something day one when you get an animal in, it's completely different day 90. It's the same thing with a footballer, right? You get a guy in, and Moreno got hurt in that first training. Well, now he's really kind of the 30 million has been worth it, if we're honest. If we're honest with the assessment, it didn't work out in the beginning, but he found a place to play. Yeah. And like I said, I think it's a testament to him. It's a testament to Arteta, a guy that went there and took his opportunity. He's obviously not going to be our first choice striker next year. We all know this, but he's made himself useful. There is that aspect. But I think as far as our attackers go, Saka, he played 17 games this year, 6 goals, 10 assists. That's in the Premier League alone. That's almost a goal and assist a game, or either or, right? So it's hard to really assess his because he's probably the only world-class finisher we have on the team. I think I'm safe to say my opinion of him is he's world-class at this point.
He's definitely got world-class talent. Everybody's going to say he needs to dot the I's and cross the T's, and that requires him putting his arm up in the air with a metal bowl, ears in his hands, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last thing, and that kind of seals it for you. Or he has to just do it for another 10 years, essentially. So he's at who wants to be at the Kane level, but that's kind of what it takes sometimes for you to be. Yeah. To get that world class with no title, and nobody can say much about it because the numbers speak for themselves and consistency speaks for itself.
Havertz's numbers were good, but he missed some chances he shouldn't have missed. Martinelli's been pretty disappointing this year as far as finishing. Everything else has been really good with him. And then of course Trossard is one of those weird ones where he's good and then he's not good. And of course, Jesus was good when he was healthy for us, right? We had a couple really good games from him, and then the knee happened. Sterling was a massive disappointment.
Yeah.
And Weary's been a really good thing to see. I don't think the attacking has been where, the everything else on this team is high level, but I feel like, I think if you're a striker in Europe right now and you're out of contract or close to it, you're like, man, you're calling your agent saying, man, I think I can give Havertz a go.
That's why I thought the Sesko not coming was a bad look for him, because he would have been already established. He would, not that we could have foresaw injuries coming, but he would have he definitely would have got the minutes. And maybe he would establish himself a little bit better. And if he is the future striker for Arsenal, he would have already had one more year in it under his belt.
But look at this, right? So injuries. Speaking of injuries and things not being solidified, when we got in the season, one of the first names on that sheet was Ben White, right? In that back line. No one thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
We were always thinking Ben White and Timber, right back, left back.
Mm-hmm.
Now Miles Lewis Skelly's made that his position. Timber's made that his position. Kivior's making a hell of a good, hey, I'm here and I'm worth it. Partey's made his position his.
You know what? You're worth it if you get the confidence from your manager, or in the case of Kiwior took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I think other players get the confidence from the manager and they use it, right? Kiwior's playing in his preferred position, and I think that's the other part to this whole thing. If they don't play in a preferred position, or they don't get the confidence from the manager, it looks the way it does, and then like a Sambi is out the door, right? And Nunez definitely looks like what Tony wants, which is a wing back. We don't play wing back, so he's not working for us, right? He needs to be defensively sound. He's not, so he doesn't fit. That's kind of the thing. He was a good player, just doesn't fit with us, right? And so he's gone. Emil Smith-Rowe, I think the injuries caught up to him, and that's why. And we finally let him go when he's healthy, which is kind of the way we work some days. But there's a lot of. Let me go through this chat because I know I'm behind. Arteta was a feisty character on the pitch. These biased fans always talk Arteta down as a player. He was a fantastic player, in my opinion. He gets no respect for having been in England for 20 years. I'm just going by how when I looked and how I felt about him, So I know he was a captain for Arsenal after just a few years being in. I feel like the way we look at Erdogan is probably the same way some people look at Arteta. A captain, but not.
I never fancied him. I didn't like him as a player.
A captain, but a captain, not the captain that we were looking for. That's kind of how I see it. And I think that's what Arteta probably sees in Erdogan. So new team, new league, new country, new manager, all factors when coming into a new environment. Moreno looks a completely different player from last year. When he played in Spain or in Arsenal, I know he's definitely found a place. We found a place for him, and the talent's there. But like for me, when you're trying to, for example, when you're trying to fill a role, your talent ID has to be a little bit better. We can't always be going, well, you know what? They came in as a this and we used them as a that, and then so it worked out. And it's like, no, it doesn't always. At some point, no. At some point, you bring somebody in, they gotta, your talent ID's gotta hopefully work such that they can fill the need that you have, right? We wanted to fill our midfield with some players. Moreno was supposed to do that. Didn't work. We wanted to bring in a Calafuri to support our center backs. Couldn't do that, right? I kind of felt like we were too eager to put him out wide. Kiwior, center back, put him out wide. Not as good there. We see him as a center back. He looks better. I kind of feel like, you know what? That's what we should be doing.
But you're still 20 wins with him.
No, I know, but okay. So if he had played more and we had been rotating him with Gabriel, maybe we would have won some of those games. That we didn't win. So I like I said, that's there we go. Why not's in the house in Buongiorno. Welcome to the show. Can he be compared?
Arteta likes adding those defensive guys to midfield after, but
it's a lesson learned, I think.
Big up there. Why not?
I mean, so why not? It's a big lesson learned.
Mm.
And I don't really want to call it happy Arteta accidents like BX is saying there, but I think there is something to be said for opportunities and players taking advantage of
We
opportunities.
lost Tony. Hopefully he'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we lost him. And I can't remember where we were going with this, but I said it last week, Gary, and I still I'll die on this hill till we're done with the show and no one watches this anymore. The players where they play at their international teams, we should be saying, like right now, we should be looking at Tomiyasu. Okay, injuries, but you could play center back. That's the position you play for Japan. It's less for whatever issue he's got. Center back might be the healthiest position for him. Big body. Why can't you play? And then play fullback on an occasion. Zinchenko, midfielder. That's where you play Ukraine. Kivior, center back. Poland. I mean, the answers are there, and I'm not going to sit there and
but that we all complain about Arteta and how he utilizes his players. I mean, the player management is what you're talking about there. That we're seeing players out of their position, and we're complaining about them playing out of their positions where they've been comfortable playing in other positions and other teams, and it's worked. And then they come to Arsenal, and because of said issues, we play them to fit those issues, right? Skelly is probably a better midfielder than any of the midfielders we got, right? We won't play him there because guess what? He's really good as a left back because we haven't had a left back that's been healthy enough to be able to play out a season yet, right?
We're not really calling out Arteta so we are calling him out, but we're not like
it's an Arteta thing. But it's an Arteta thing. The way he utilizes his squad creates these situations, and then we turn around and we
Don't
complain.
We see this in world football constantly, though. Players,
but
not like in Arsenal, I don't believe. Like nowhere in Arsenal, not as much as we see in Arsenal.
But we follow Arsenal more than anybody else, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think I listen to a lot of other fans.
I'm talking about me and you, buddy, tomorrow.
Talk about their play. I don't really hear them ever saying, "Well, he's playing out of position all the damn time," and like all of his players are playing out of position. And then when they finally get an opportunity to showcase their skills, oh look, it works.
I mean, I'll say this much when I'm in the BX thing. Like, I still like Arteta. I just will call him out on things when I think he's wrong. I think this is a lesson. Like, there's these benchmark moments, and this has to be one where it's like, Zinchenko, maybe I'll just play you as an 8. Maybe I'll play you as just a 6. Like, I know there's certain things I want to see going forward, and I've already got in my mind who the 2 left backs are, who the 2 right backs are next year, who the 2 center backs are, and their backups are. I see it. I would buy another fullback. I know we're doing that.
So you buy another fullback, then Miles Kelly needs to move into the midfield.
Essentially, if you're looking at it from that perspective, yeah. If you're looking at it from that perspective, you would absolutely say, hey, Miles Kelly, you midfield. Because now you struck gold with Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nworry, and I think I said this last week, so I'm probably beating the dead horse. That's a $40, $50, $60 million player you don't have to buy anymore.
Yeah. So put him in his best position and get the best out of him, and then save and take whatever money you save from him and go get somebody better in a position.
If that young man stays healthy, Gary, if that young man stays healthy and Miles Lewis-Skelly, I think we have a very special talent on our hand.
And I think in Nworry it will be just as special, if not better. They're both be competing for who's the next best academy player in Arsenal squad. The difference is the minutes for me. You give the same minutes to Nworry, I think you get to see the same thing, the same situations. So, it's just that we needed a left back, and, we haven't had one that's actually stepped up and been able to take the spot away. I mean, since he's got established himself. Yep, Marino is clinical. His passing has been really good.
Yeah.
We got here. Yeah.
He's been doing well. I mean,
yeah.
I still, there's quality on the bench. But I mean, again, this Real Madrid win, going to the Bernabeu, finishing it out, Saka misses the penalty, finds a way to get the go-ahead goal. Props to him on that. I don't really care about the Saliba mess up. I really didn't care at all when it happened. It would have been great to go 5-0 in aggregate, That would have been great.
Yeah.
But and then
No, it was a bad miss, and we can complain about it and say he was poor and he probably shouldn't have taken that chance in a game where guess what? You stick a dagger in it, right? We talk about we talk about this all the damn time. The reason why we overplay our players is because we never stick a fork in it. We never stick a fork in it because we are not clinical, and then when we have an opportunity to probably seal it, we don't do it.
Yeah.
And taking like you look back at it as a whole and go, put that ball in the corner like you always do, go up 4-0, and the game is sealed, right? Then maybe we're resting up for the next one, right? In the Ipswich game, Saka scores his 2 goals. He may not even get touched on that next one, right? He may not get touched at all, and then you're pulling him at halftime. We haven't been able to do that in games, and then when we have opportunities to do it, either we're just out of form and that's why we miss it, or we take chances that we don't need to take, and we're not, we don't take the easy opportunity and work with it, right? Because we try to be a little fancy, and that's kind of some of the stuff Arteta does. Tries to be a little fancy. And sometimes it plays off and sometimes it doesn't. And I kind of felt like when he took that chance, if he took it a fraction of a second later, he puts that ball in the right corner, we're up 4-0, different kind of game. Yeah. Right? Different kind of game. And we don't get to be in those situations where it's a different kind of game because we stuck a fork in it and finished the team off. We're up one. We're up one against Liverpool. We don't get that second goal, the next goal to put us up 2, and they come back and steal a point and still, basically take 2 points off of the board for us, right?
Yeah.
Same thing in Chelsea. Same thing in Chelsea.
Aspect.
Same thing in Brighton. You can look at all these games where we've had the lead, and we just weren't able to get that next goal to put us up 2. And it comes back to haunt us, right? We always talk about
evolution of this team. I think if you look at the goals scored this year versus last year, it's obviously less. Defense is still one of the best in the league. It was best in the league last year. So we've got to figure out a way how to put that over 38 games. And again, I have to blame the players. This is where I blame the players. And I know people say Arteta's tactics, but I also blame the players for not being clinical enough on certain things. Getting pigeonholed into a certain, I guess, way of trying to score. Whereas, unlike Rice.
I'm telling you, if they're too busy thinking about what Arteta's talking to them, then that's the manager in their head.
I don't think people play like that at that age.
I think he's in their head. They are looking to pass first time when they get inside the 18. They're already thinking pass because we see it.
Well, it's all about
why aren't you taking the shot first time when you come into the box and the pass is made to you? We're always trying to trap that ball for an extra touch. For what reason? Not to shoot, always to make that next pass. And it's like, no, take that first shot. You don't know what's, you can't. You send it. You keep the defense in play when we trap that ball. It's supposed to take it first time. You see us moving the ball up the pitch, and a ball comes in, and we hit it one time, and good things can happen. So for me, I think it's that's what I believe is the reason why a lot of times it's like that's an opportunity missed because we're too busy with the extra touch. And a lot of times you don't even see the shot because the extra touch means the defense is on top of us and we never even got the shot off.
And you've seen that in the Amazon video. You've seen it after that. He said, this is the way we're going to play. I can change players in and out, but this is the way we're going to play. And it always seems like we have this plan A. We have happy accidents, like with Jesus going down this year with Mourinho coming up there. We bought them as midfield. They're terrible there. Next year, we're going to have to rebuild because you're having Jorginho go, you're having Partey go. You're going to have to do something different there and see if that helps the offense any. I still think you need to have, to me, Odegaard should be in the middle there.
But
I'm not the manager, so.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I think playing free also and flourishing, playing free is kind of what Real Madrid tried to do on Tuesday. or Wednesday. They didn't have an answer for our defense.
Well, yeah, I mean they can do that
You have
against.
to have some
Yeah.
sort of system when you do things. I think you have to. But again, you have to have moments where Rice takes it upon himself and says, "Nope, I'm not going to sling this ball in here for a header. I'm going to take the shot."
Yeah, I just
You have
think
to have
that.
those moments.
But you know what? Those people that listen to him the most are the attackers, the defenders. When they get into the box, guess what? They're playing with house money at that point. It don't matter what they do.
I get
Right?
it.
That's what you talking about playing free. That's what it looks like when you play free. When you're playing out of position, and you know what? I might score. And guess what you do? You take a chance, and guess what? You score because you're a good football player. We saw it. California scored goals that were like nice, right? Skelly, nice, right? Moreno coming up into the pitch, even when he plays midfield now, he's feeling comfortable coming up. Nice, right? I mean, I think that right there is where you that's when you see players playing free for Arsenal when they're out of position and they're attacking third. And
There's a
the
reason
set
why they're
pieces.
second in England right now without a striker. There's a reason, and that's because of system.
that's because our defense. It's not because of
But
not
part
because
of
of our
the system.
attack. It's our defense.
But that's part of a whole system.
No, but it's our
Actually-
defense. If we had an offense, we would be first.
Maybe.
No, we would be first if we had an offense. We had a striker opening up things for us.
Yep.
Teams, we would be finished up.
The
We wouldn't
key
have.
right
We
there,
wouldn't
though.
have. We would have 13 draws or 12 draws or whatever it is.
You just said the key right there. If we'd have had a striker.
Yeah, and that's
And it comes down to one thing too, Saka being out.
no. If we had a striker, even without Saka, I think we still would have done the things.
Saka,
It would have been.
Saka was able to play, so he played 17 games for us and missed about the half of the games. If he plays those on his, 6 goals, 10 assists, I think it was, he doubles that number, and some of those draws turn into wins.
But you can't keep playing him nearly 4,000.
No,
That's why he
completely
went down.
agree with that. But my point here is the system has worked in spite of not having a clinical attack. It could absolutely
It
be
didn't
better.
work because we didn't get it. We haven't got a trophy out of it yet.
Not yet.
The system only is going to work when you get a trophy out of it. For me,
well,
like the system keeps us competitive, but we're missing the bits and pieces that get us across the line. And that's going into this season. I said we need a striker to get us across the line.
But here's
because guess what? For the last 3 seasons, the last 3 seasons, we've lost out on what we wanted to do because we didn't have that a striker. We didn't have that clinical striker. 3 seasons in a row, and we're going into our 4th season now, and we still don't have that striker.
Good news is you have a system set up. You can throw one in, and
but we've had a system. We've had a similar system for 4 years now. We haven't filled it with the hole with the player that we need.
But you see what he does with Jesus, and he did with Lacazette and other strikers. They're more drifting back into an 8 position instead of being an attacker. They need to be in the right position. And that's why Mourinho works, because he knows his positioning.
But he also tracks back on defense.
No, but he's got that part of it. He did as a midfielder. He didn't show a defensive capability because the ball would go right by him.
He supports in the midfield. I don't think he does he's not doing the role that he was meant to do, and which is, I guess the case in point why we saw Lacazette come back. He's not a defender, but he definitely came back for us, right, and support that midfield. Like Jesus comes back, supports us in the midfield as well. But I just feel like if you get a player, a striker, he doesn't have to come back and support because he'll be up there. And think about it, if that was an Isak that we had in our team, you're not going to ask him to come back, are you? Not to come back to midfield. You're not going to do that, right? Because if you can make that long pass to him, right? Those same long passes that we've seen Martinelli get, you can make those long passes. We saw that long pass that we tried to make, I think, in the Villa game. And Kai Havertz is trying to run on it, and he can't because that's not he's just not a kind of a striker, right? But if that's any other, a pure striker playing there, and they get that ball right up through the middle, they're running on it, and that's kind of the way you open up the game as well with your strikers that we can't even take part in that because we don't have that guy.
Well, that's the thing. He asked his strikers to do multiple things.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's ever going to change, even if Victor Yorkers come in. He's being expected to play a hold-up play as well.
He can do
That's
that.
why
But he
Havertz
can do that. He can do that in front of the 18. That's the plus side of it.
You're not going to see that though. It's not.
You're going to
really
see a
like,
lot more of that, I believe. He plays for
maybe, but
because we are missing that guy. We won't because we don't have that guy. I feel like
here's the thing, and people are going to disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But Havertz made those runs. He just wasn't as clinical as a striker needed to be. He still did good. He made those runs that other forwards wouldn't make. Now you take a guy like Victor Yorkis. I don't really know how his work rate is off the ball, but he can make some of those finishes that Kai might not make. So now you're adding, Kai's a 15-goal striker. Now you're adding a potentially 20 to 25-goal striker to it.
I don't know.
Now you're looking at 35 goals in the front. You got to figure out Martinelli could get him competition. Sack is going to get you 10 to 15, potentially 20 goals. You see what I'm saying? So now you're adding all this stuff that you didn't have.
Yep. So you take a hit somewhere else, right? The same way we're okay to play Zinchenko as a left back because why? Because supposedly he's really good at when he inverts into the midfield and helps us out in the midfield, and we'll take a hit on the defense. So for me, if I get a striker who takes a lot of the things we can't do right now, and he doesn't go back to midfield and support the midfield. He doesn't go all the way back to the back line to the CDM level to support. But guess what? He does everything further up the pitch. Guess what I'm doing? I'm fine with that.
Well, the argument would be
because we're better. We're going to get better as we move along here, right? Defensively sound, right?
Yeah, well, the argument would be that if you're moving an inverted left back, now you've got basically like two midfielders here, and of course, your wingers here, right? That really a guy like a Moreno or Havertz could stay up top in theory. But I mean, that to me, that's why you're adding that extra midfielder because you're trying to control the space without him having to fall back. But for some reason, it falls back because it spreads out with the eights.
No, like I said, I feel like you bring in a player with those type of skill sets, you might lose the things that we take that Arteta asks for, but it might be okay because we're getting some of the better things that we're missing.
Here's what you need, though, right? You need multiple styles of play.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a game where Kai Havertz is needed to do aerial duels and control the midfield and do stuff up top, and you're going to have games.
I don't want him ever in the midfield.
But again,
I don't either.
But hold on, guys, you're missing the point. If he's doing false nine work, he is going back in the midfielder. Your striker is going back and playing midfield roles. Yeah. It's part of it.
If your striker is Gyökeres and Jonathan David, they're not doing what you just said. If that's our 1 and 2 striker, they're not doing what you just said. And guess what happens?
They'll have to.
No, they won't do that because they won't need to. Because guess what? They will. The defense will not play the same. We don't have a striker, so yes. Guess what? We have to be better off in the midfield.
We have a
striker. We put a striker in there. We are more dangerous now. I have a feeling that changes the whole concept of how they defend us now. We have no striker. We've not had a striker in 4 or 5 years now. It's easy for them to just overload the midfield. Now you put in a striker. You see those long balls that would come into like an Isak and stuff like that. Now that's coming into a Gyökeres. It's coming into a Jonathan David. So I feel like you're looking at it because we don't have that piece, and I'm saying we put that piece in. It changes how they look at us now.
And I'm saying we need 2 pieces. We still need 2 strikers.
And I still think Havertz can work in the midfield, but here we are.
You hate me, man. You hate me.
No, see what you guys are forgetting with the Havertz midfield experiment. Partey was playing right back during all of that time too,
and I hate him there.
But you're blaming Havertz for
we've won one game. We've won one game with him at right back, and you know why? Because he can't play that position.
BX is on.
Have you seen Zinchenko play left back? How many games has he given away at that left back position? Right? How many points have we dropped? Right? Liverpool for sure. We know that big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you put a Timber or Malu Skelly in those games. Guess what? Nah. We win at Anfield.
I'll
right?
tell you what, man.
We don't even have to
Tell you
bring
what.
Kirio in, right?
Give me
You
a
bring
back three. Give me a back three of Rice. No, not right.
See, now you're
Hold on.
jumping on
I
the Tony
figured it out.
bandwagon.
I
Now
figured this
you
out.
got Tony twitching here now.
I've got this figured out now. I'm gonna run Gabriel Saliba and Timber as my back three. I'm running Rice and Miles Lewis Skelly as my sixes. I'm running Havertz and Odegaard as my middle. I got Martinelli on the wing, Saka on the wing, and then Gyökeres up top. Tell me you wouldn't crush for that lineup right now.
Tony wants a back three.
Tony got smiled when he heard that lineup.
As soon as you said back three, he liked that. You know
I,
what?
I'm just like,
It's 105 minutes now. I'm gonna have to go get ready for my morning. I need to exercise.
Yeah.
I exercised last Monday,
I need
and
to
I didn't
exercise,
and I didn't exercise again for the rest of the week. I need to try to get at least 2 days back to back in.
I got a smile out of Tony from that lineup. He got excited there because it's a good
Yeah.
lineup.
There you go. Even BX kind of likes your lineup, so there you go.
I wouldn't care the player's name. I just want
Yeah,
to
you
see
would.
it do it. I would probably have Timber as one of the sixes, though. But
You could run that and run, I don't know, Kivior back there. Give Ben White some action, whatever you got. Listen, you need multiple ways to play.
Yeah, just looking there is a nice shot there from Erdogan. Hits the crossbar. That's what I want him to do more of. That right there.
Hit the crossbar.
Hit the cross. Hit the post. Hit the post.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it. It was a good shot.
Yeah, no, it's perfect shot. But I want a lot more. I want him thinking he can do that every time he touches the ball, and then when they stop it, he just lays it off for a nice little tap in. You know what I mean? That's what I want. Not like I got to pass it first, and then you know what? They know I got to pass it first, so they're not even bothering. And then like that, and then the next play up is Butler with that nice little turn, and the goalkeeper has to push it over. And I'm like, we didn't play him right, and that's a first touch he has in the game. Nice little touch in the goal, and he just turns a little pass into the middle. He turns on it straight, just a fingertip tip over by, and I'm like, huh. So we didn't play him right.
Yeah.
We didn't play him right.
Again, when you bring players into teams,
but we didn't play him. We didn't play him.
No, I agree. Listen, when you bring players in to play with players that are already really good, it raises their level too.
Oh no, Butler was I hear what you're saying, but that's what he did. His first touch in the game, and he's been on the bench 4 or 5 games already, and we don't use him when we're like, we need something different in that center forward role. Man, he's shorter than Nweri, but when he turns on a ball like that, I'm like, I don't care.
Listen, I'm confident this team's going to finish in the Champions League places. I'm not worried about that.
No, I want us to finish second because I want us. I don't want us finishing 5th or 4th. I don't either.
But I want us
to finish in second because we need to win out the rest of our games. I've said it. There's 7 games for us to win. If we win all of them, guess what? And we come out with a trophy if we do that.
Well, here's my thought process with this too. Just like you said, you got 7 games, right? I want to take chance. I want Butler or Deji to get a shot. I want Nweri to get more minutes. Like I just want that because you never know if you struggle with Miles Lewis Skelly and Nweri. What if Butler or Deji's a good player? I mean, I don't know. Like
and he'll take whatever money we give him if he knows he's going to come off the bench and get if he's getting those if he's getting those minutes that Eddie and Katie was getting late in games when we needed something different, I think he would enjoy that. He's been around long enough. Like either he needs to go, either he's going to be gone, or he's going to get those minutes coming off the bench for us. And I think he would enjoy that. If that's where if he feels like I'd rather be part of this thing that we're doing here than go elsewhere and then get to play, but then not have these experiences.
And we could have saved the money if we played Skelly last year. We don't have to go get Calafieri.
Well, I think there's something said about a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I think there really is something. I mean, where he's got to change in a different locker room than everybody else.
Well, him and Nweri changed in the locker rooms together. They didn't even move both of them because they're like, we can't have Nweri by himself. So they actually as a team they had both of them in the same locker room. So both of them were not dressing with the men.
I
Go-
feel that I know you're getting ready to roll, Gary. I feel like we'll have a chance to talk about it on Monday. I think games Wednesday, Crystal Palace, and then no game this weekend. We'll have a chance to talk about that Champions League semifinal, and we're talking about PSG and how I think we're the best solid defensive team left in the competition. I don't think we have the most effective attackers, but we just have to make it through 180 minutes, beat PSG. And then whatever happens, happens in that final.
Yeah.
And that's really it. But I'll shut up so you can do your exit and everything.
All right. Let everybody have their say. So, Tony, what's up, dude? Talk to me.
Tired of wrestling at this point. Listen for more football. So I'll
All right,
be
well,
happy with the midweek game.
You get the midweek games, and then you get almost a week off. So
Yep. You get to rest people. I would rest people Wednesday.
I don't think we'll go with a
You
strong
can.
lineup. We'll probably I could see us switching around. Maybe bring our fullbacks in, let them play, and then hopefully bring them off at halftime. I think Partey will play just because he needs to. I think like if he doesn't play, I think that would be bad. I think he needs to get some minutes, not a lot, but some minutes. Anything else, Tony?
No.
All right, so you guys check out Tony on missile. What is it? Missile drop kick. Yeah. I never can get it right. Missile drop kick.
Missile drop kick or wrestling talk show. If you want to get the whole thing out of your mouth.
There you go. Yeah, that's just a little mouthful for me. All right, check that out. Next up, we've got Spencer.
Yeah.
What say you?
Well, I'm glad I get to come in here and do this for a little bit, and I'll see what's up on Saturday, but I'll reach out to you about the NFL draft on Thursday.
All right.
I need to do something. It's been I actually was listening. I can't remember, somebody was talking today. I can't remember, but that's coming up. And then of course Wednesday we got Arsenal and Palace, and yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Cool. Yeah. No, it seemed like even there's a draft going on, but there's also the portal drama going on.
Oh yeah,
you saw that. If you saw that with the Tennessee quarterback turning down, was it $4 million because he wants, or turning down $2 million because he wants $4 million or something like that?
Yeah, college football is running with no guardrails right now, so it's really players, coaches, the game suffering because there's no real rules. And
you know why there's no rules? Because the adults
get more money, but
the adults didn't want to share the money, and the adults didn't want to share their money.
Well, the adults can't even figure it out now either, as we're seeing.
Well, now they said somebody else do it, as opposed to just give the players a stipend. And I always said if there's an NIL deal that's associated with a player, if they graduate, I've said this many times, put that money in an escrow. If they graduate with a 4-year degree, doesn't matter how long it takes, that money's theirs because they earned it by their play, and that's why they were able to make money off of it. So the same way they get in the NIL deals now, same way it's there. You finish your 4-year degree in whatever 8 years or something like that because you decide to go to NFL, but you finish it, you get your money. If you need it, you just finish your 4 years and it's all yours, and you have a opportunity to take that money and do something with it, right?
It's atrocious if you look at some of those graduation rates from those teams, especially now. You have some of those guys that have played on 5 or 6 different college teams, and that's
it's there's no guardrails anymore, and
you're right about this, BX Gunner. The amateur athlete thing gone. It's gone now. Gone. When you and now it's not even about the athletics sometimes because or maybe it is about the athletics, but you've got players making more than enough money than they're ever going to make. Like they probably wouldn't even be in professional ranks, but they're making more money now. So then it's like, it's good for them.
Well, the worst part about it now is it's like apparently Nico was, pressing Tennessee for more money in the bowl before the playoff game, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like there has to be more structure to it. Like the kids deserve to get their money, but at the same time, we can't have the transfer. We got transfer portal going on during the Sweet 16 of college basketball. Like, Like, what are we doing here? So,
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. No, I hear you. Yep. Everybody, thank you for joining us. It's been a good one. We had a big, long chat today. I think we talked about everything, but there's more to talk about. We'll talk about the Crystal Palace match on the next one, and then get preparation for the PSG match. Yeah, Arsenal needs to, if they can repeat what they did the last time, or if they can even do a little bit better. Either way, I think we can, if we can take a lead into the next match, will be good. However that happens, I think our defense travels. I keep saying that. Ben White, if he's coming back, he's going to be healthy. Then we've got answers there. Saka continue. If he doesn't have any setbacks, we'll be fine there. And where he should get minutes, and maybe even, I don't know, Butler travels, but he looked good to me. But anyways, let's move on. Let's get out of here. It's been a good one. Thanks for joining us. Hit the likes and subscribe and all of that. Yeah, sports betting and NIL. I think sports betting's always been around. I think the NIL at least has corrupted the college game.
Yeah.
Betting has always been there. If sports betting is corrupting the game, then we're not watching real sports anyways. Then, right?
Well, I think what it's done, Gary, and I know we're about to go, but I think it's just created this weird obsession, and I know Tom does his betting in the dark on Lolo, so I'm not just digging at him or anything, but I think it's really created this weird, I don't know, I don't want to say degeneracy, but
yeah.
It's just weird, man. Like,
betting's always been there. It's just expanded because of technology and whatnot. But I don't. If it's corrupting the sports, then it's pure entertainment then, or it's just corruption. So it's not even real anymore.
But one thing, you had Bailey's, and now you have FanDuel. They shouldn't be having regional sports networks in their name.
Right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You see the NBA, they're really merged with FanDuel.
But it's weird that they allow the betting.
They wanted betting at the games, which hasn't
weird.
happened yet.
Yeah, so. It's weird that they have the betting, and their betting is is fine, but like the alcohol and the beer stuff is like not fine. It's like, dude, they're all bad for you.
Yeah.
Some financially and some mentally and physically. So, you just like finding all the, like, why can't you have cigarettes sponsors, right? Why'd you take that away? Oh, because it's bad. Why'd you take away the alcohol sponsors? Oh, because it's bad. Oh.
It's worse than they brought my alcohol
why do you take
back.
away the beer sponsorships, like kind of the thing that they used to have? Oh, because it's bad. Oh, but the betting is all right. Betting's all right. Okay, got it.
That's where we'll draw the line.
All right, everybody, check us out later.
One thing, at least it's going off the front of the Premier League. It shouldn't be allowed anywhere on there. But
I hear you. I hear you on that. So Tony will probably have a show probably coming up this week, probably.
Yeah.
Thursday. Right. Cool. Spencer probably will have a show on Thursday. We'll see how that goes. I might join him. We'll talk about the first round of the draft. Is really good. It'll be, I don't know if there'll be any surprises, but at least we'll be able to talk about who gets what. You missed the tobacco sponsorships,
especially in NASCAR.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, think about it. All these things that they've taken away for bad reasons, but then they've added.
I think
could be worse things.
As F1 and Indy, because I just remember those Marlboro F1 and Indy cars.
Yeah. So check out Thursday. Maybe we'll do the draft, and then we'll definitely be back on Saturday and Monday again to chat about what's coming up next. Subscribe and like and all of that, everybody. Thank you, and let's get out of here. Everybody say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And
good night, Tony.
There we go.